Yeah, that makes perfect sense. And then really, like, Rubik then just sort of forgets about trying to steal from the Lina, realizing it's not worthwhile whatsoever. And yeah, I mean, I suppose still getting the Laguna Blade can be nice, but it all
Mm-hmm.
depends if we can. But hey, there is a spell which is much more better to steal. You know,
Yes.
taking away that Doom. And we've seen it again and again in the past. Like, Rubik's always able to get this skill. It's pretty easy to take away, and
Mm-hmm.
it can be devastating when it happens.
Yeah, the Doom rarely jumps on you,
Mm.
and all of his other spells that he can use to cover for that Doom have such a long wind-up time. Doom is I guess he's a very showy guy, right? He likes to wave his arms around a lot before he casts anything.
That he does.
So
Well,
he'll get that shot.
yeah, we'll try. Still fourth pick now to come out for Spawn Team. I'm sure it's going to be their next support. And which one are they going to go with? It's a Hoodwink.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, very cool. It's definitely something we don't see all too often, but then they just respond by going for the Templar Assassin.
Yeah, one of the classic Lina counter picks.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're protected versus her first couple of hits with your refraction, of course, and then you are extraordinarily good at dealing pure physical burst damage, which is something like the Lina itemizes against mostly versus like magic damage. Magic disables, she gets that BKB early, but she's not actually very tanky, and she relies on her own physical burst damage to keep possible assailants away. Just I have more damage than you. Templar Assassin will usually get that blink off and will always win the mano a mano, which she is on top of her.
Yeah, I think in that regard, there's going to be a fair amount of pressure on the Clockwork to like try and get that sort of counter initiation hook shot in, make the space for the Lina to get some distance between her and the Templar Assassin, and then yeah, like you said, she could start actually dealing damage herself. But yeah, it's gonna be a tricky one for sure. So yeah, it is the mid laner left here for Spawn Team. I mean, obviously there is a chance there's a bit of flexibility for both Lina and Doom to go mid, but it does seem quite likely that the Lina will just be the carry, Doom be the off. So we'll see what they go for. What sort of hero springs to mind when you want a good matchup versus a TA?
Versus TA, I mean, the Viper is the one that first comes to mind, right? But that has been taken out a long time ago. There goes the Batrider as well.
Mm-hmm.
See what we have left here. I mean, you could Huskar, right?
Yeah. Yeah, you definitely could actually. Pretty,
Yeah.
pretty good.
I'm having a giggle, but also not really.
I mean, again, like the Huskar do well with versus the TA, and you also have no spells that a Rubik really wants to steal again. So you sort of end up mess up the Rubik's game a little bit more. You can, like, when you use your burst, you can push away the Primal Beasts when it gets to top of you. But yeah, instead they will just go for the Ember Spirit. Hey, we got the fire bit right, you know. That's the main bit.
Yeah, I like Ember Spirit. Not too like you're not too happy versus the TA. She's definitely going to have a better lane than you. You're going to be looking to rotate, and she's going to be looking to farm, which means that she gets that farm out. There's no pressure on her tower to do with or anything. Your Flame Guard is nice to burn away refraction charges later on, though. So it's not all bad.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, like you're saying, it definitely seems like more of a like you address the TA, but yeah, in like the mid to sort of later parts of the game. Early parts, TA's gonna be doing whatever the hell she wants. And you just know as well, whenever there's a TA, there's gonna be a lot of stacks being made in the triangle that she can go up and farm. And Spawn Team don't really have many ways to steal away that farm.
Death Prophet.
Ah, okay.
So Death Prophet clowns on Ember Spirit.
Yeah. Rocking down the mid, then leaving the TA then to be the carry themselves.
Yeah, but I don't actually think. Wait, no, it is JG. Yeah, no, it is JG. So they are going to do exactly that. And man, I wanted Mamang Daya to have a playmaker. Mamang Daya got a playmaker. And the Death Prophet is just still in.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't see why they didn't decide to ban that one out. But hey, Zerge will find that opening in the draft and easily able to pick that one up. So, like, how much worse is a Death Prophet for an Ember Spirit compared to the TA? Is it like twice as bad or just a little bit more?
No, definitely twice as bad.
Yeah.
you don't actually push out the wave fast enough. You're a melee hero up versus the siphons, which is also really uncomfortable. And then, of course, when you go out to gank, like this is not a hero that goes back into the jungle to farm up, but this is a hero that's just going to take your tower as soon as you know about. And then the silence later on, Ember Spirit does not want to have to build any like items to deal with that early on. Yule Spirit Ember is long in the past, and we're not going to go back to that. But that just means that he's going to have his trigger finger at the ready for the entirety of the early game until he has like a BKB up, because otherwise you're just going to get silenced and you fall over immediately.
Yeah, well, it's not really something that you want from your mid lane. Like, they're meant to be there to make space for the carry, but if they're also having to spend time to get their own farm on the line, then it just creates more openings that Xerxia could potentially, use their advantage and bully out a dominant lead. We'll obviously see how the game ends up panning out. But what team are you feeling more comfortable on? You going for the Xerxia draft?
I am definitely going for the Xerxia draft, yeah. They have two ways to get on top of the Lina. They have a TA who looks pretty much geared up to have a good game, and they're going to be shutting the enemy playmaker down. This looks pretty solid as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, definitely does seem like they've managed to tick the majority of the boxes. Going to be able to deal with the Lina, deal with the Ember Spirit. So I guess it sort of depends if the Doom can sort of pick up the slack for the rest of the team, have a good lane, and maybe start building up some momentum for them. But it all just does come down to how Red's feeling. Obviously, he's had kind of a rough time in the other series. He's never really had a decent lane. Was getting shut down a fair amount on both the Viper and his Marcy. I don't know. Maybe he just prefers to play the Doom. He might be have a bit of a better shot. I mean, he is a level 25 on this hero. He clearly spams the hell out of it.
Yes.
So, it doesn't look like we're going to get any first blood. Both teams doing exactly the identical spread. Going to try and... we might get a little bit of a contest for the river bounties. And obviously, we see Karma all melded up underneath where the room will spawn. Just depends if anyone on the side of spawn actually does step out and fall into this trap.
It's very good for a spawn that they have the Clockwork opposite of the Primal Beast as well. Because Clock is the only one who can actually keep him off of the rune without taking too much damage himself. Do you want to take Cogs that early though? No, you do not.
No, ideally. Bombi, ooh, nice little sidestep there to avoid the LSA. Still takes quite a beating for it. Meanwhile, at the top, talking about taking a beating, Mamang Dai, one more hit is all they need to bring him down. And he does not get away. First blood gets picked up there for JG. And already, that's a really big lead to start there between these two mid laners.
Yeah, that is pretty much the worst case scenario.
Yeah, I mean, it's already close to 400 gold separating the two at 26 seconds into the game. That's really rough.
Yep, finished up a nice null talisman as well. And the next time this courier comes, it's just immediately gonna have a bottle on it.
Yeah, there's actually permanent uptime. I mean, sad news for the courier though. I'm sure they'd like to have a little rest, sit back in the fountain and recharge, but no. Just gonna have his little legs running non-stop by the looks in this mid lane. Had a fantastic time. But talking about couriers, Bombi does actually able to bring down Jikroy's courier, which is pretty damn massive. I mean, he's gonna take a bit of harassment in response, but that is now the Lina with no HP and now no regen. Gonna need Travin to start handing over some of these tangos. Maybe even give him the salve, but it feels kind of rough to do that now.
Yeah, well, Lina does not want to be under tower. She takes so much damage from the creeps, and it makes her so vulnerable to anybody stepping on top of her. Unfortunately, though, for Rupido, he does not actually have a way to get on top of her just yet. No unsought available.
Yeah, just have to sit back. Meanwhile, Bombi just farming up a couple of the creeps under his own tier 1 tower, A little bit of lane tax there for Rapido.
Yeah, as one does. Have you ever played a communist offlane?
I not intentionally, but sometimes it can't be helped. Yeah, accidentally.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, it's like, especially if you're playing something like a Keeper of the Light, you're like, sorry, sorry. I don't mean to keep taking these creeps. Oh yeah.
After a while, they stop believing your stories, I've noticed.
Yeah, and if they get really mad, that's when they start deleting items, but hey, that's just an easy report.
That sponsor from
Now the fight resumes.
who has that?
But will it follow the same thread?
One of the Xerxia players. Wait. Is it Rupido?
For what?
No, one of them has. Oh no, it's Karma actually. Karma has a very interesting sponsor name, and it made me think that he was all chatting something very unsavory.
That's a long word as well. So I don't know what the hell they're meant to be sponsoring. They just got a load of asterisks, and then Rapido just got all the Z's. But actually, talking to Rapido, again on top of Jicroy, there is going to be the cogs there, making a bit of space, allows the lean to disengage, which is still really low. It looks like Travins will just be the sacrifice. Actually, Zerja, they're deciding to ignore it. They want a much more high-profile find of Jicroy. They do find him into the trees. He's trying to get himself away, but it's just not going to work. He still falls. And now Travins, he actually just walks straight back into him. He's like, hey, you know, one kill wasn't enough. Have a second one. He's in real danger. He's able to avoid that last bramble, but you can't avoid the big fists of the Primal Beast.
That is a pretty rough lane for Alina Clockwork. You should be able to start off without giving away any of these skills here, and now Rupido might actually have enough
Help me,
with that bracer to stand the onslaught of the Lina for a while longer.
Yeah, it's a pretty decent start for him. I mean, while that was happening as well, Karma did actually get taken down there at the top, so, you know, Spawn not losing all their lanes, been able to put a bit of a stop there to the farming of the TA, which definitely helps balance it out a bit. Now, how is this mid lane currently going? 19-3 to JG, to the 11-1 there of Mamang Dyer, so
Yes.
his Ember Spirit's really, really struggling. Well, there was a rotation from Bombi coming in there as well, but does actually decide to change his mind, head back towards his lane.
Yeah, Death Prophet just clowns on Ember. It's really... And there's nothing you can do about it. Just hang on and, you know, hope that eventually you get a really good rotation option on a side lane, but as long as you're still locked in this laning stage, nothing's going to improve your fate.
Yeah, just can't get any sort of space to secure those CS. I get one here and there, but definitely just going to be the Death Prophet show here in the mid. Unfortunately, Searing Chains also latch onto the creeps, so JG just diving past the tier 1 tower. Going to use his last Spirit Siphon, got a charge as well for a Crib Swarm. And it's just such an easy solo kill. It's nothing Mamang Dyer could do.
No. And his side lanes are currently, well, the top one is not too pressured. Dalol's actually coming down here to deny a rune. But that's about it. That rotation was still too late. The Doom can't really stand in lane solo, and never mind getting any help from that Clockwork on bottom. If he does that, Jicroy immediately loses the lane.
Yeah, 100%. It's so easy for a Dark Willow Primal Beast combination to get on top of her in a second. And yeah, that's sort of just mean that Mamang Dyer is kind of just the sacrifice here. Like, they have to just suck it up. They know he's gonna have a rough time, and just pray that the rest of the squad can start making some space for him. I mean, obviously Red, as we were saying, needs to have the good start, and he is currently off to a good one. Even actually now going back on towards Karma. They got the lockdown onto him, dealing a lot of damage. TA's trying to run away. Getting underneath the tier 1 tower, but Red not feeling too pressured to run back, and just a quick little chain lightning to the back brings her down.
Yep. Red really making good on his promise to at least do good on this top lane. He's going to go for the mech first. That's going to supply some necessary armor for him here as well versus the TA. Very nice.
Yeah, it's really good.
And they'll have to answer an Jicroy.
Down bot, yeah. Serge able to find some more openings. Double kill for Rapido. Already a killing spree now for the old Primal Beast. And yeah, this man is having a really, really nice game. And talking about nice games, Red also getting a killing spree. So the off lane is really starting to pop off this game. Not even done yet. Karma's in some danger yet again. Does just go invis. They don't have any detection, no AoE damage as well.
Should look to their middle tower.
And it looks like Karma.
Our Karma.
will die.
Yeah, I would retreat into the jungle right about now. This is absolutely becoming untenable.
Yeah, just can't get any space. Oh, in the mid lane as well. Tier 1 tower is already going to die 6 minutes in.
Oh, these silence have just been so busy. Well, on top at least with winning, Karma's gonna die.
Oh no. Okay.
But on the bot lane with losing, that they couldn't do anything about this this push here.
Yeah, it's really like, it's hard to tell which team is actually ahead right now, because, well, I suppose Zerja, they're winning 2 out of 1 lanes, right? So if you look at that, they are definitely ahead. But their TA is getting punished so hard now. 0 and 3 on her. And, I mean, doing okay in terms of CS, better than the Ember at least, but even still, Jikroy though is going to die another time. Oh, is he? Does manage to land a decent LSA, but now the Gilly Crown's going to deny the retreat. Death number 3 for her as well.
Yeah, and I think I'd be cool with Karma having the, well, worst lane out of all of the cores, because he is the one that's going to be in the jungle for the longest. Is the most effective jungle farmer out of their entire lineup as well. But he seems really intent on coming back to this top lane time and time again. Is not about to give up on it.
No, he's going to try and do it, but looks like Jar Jar though, unfortunately, is going to get caught out right now. Just going to get chased down, the dot damage, another pick off there for Red. But Jar Jar was actually focused on his illusions, getting stacks elsewhere on the map, so maybe he just wasn't a bit too keen on his position there, which is why he died. Quite unfortunate for him.
Yep, now Karma, please leave while you can. Jikroy is here. Jikroy has decided his lane is untenable, and he's making sure that he gets the space elsewhere.
Yeah, definitely a good read to just back it up.
Dire's top
To
tower
lol.
is under attack.
Nearly run straight into him there. That was so close. And that would have been 100% another death there for the TA.
Dire should look
Actually,
Absolutely.
sure, I'm kind of surprised that they don't have more detection here on the side of spawn. Like a couple of dusts. Like, your versus a TA. You should really just have one already.
Yeah, I mean, they've been making use of just the burn of the Scorched Earth to bring her down so far.
It has been working to this point.
bottom tower is
Doom dropped the bot.
Yeah, trying to run down Rapido, and that he can. This Red's having such a good start. Looks like the dot's going to be enough. No one's even going to be in the vicinity to try and get a deny off. And now potentially Bombi's in some real danger right now. Travan's beating into him, but JG charging on over, trying to make the space. Got to be careful the Red doesn't get caught out. They've committed the Exo. Already just gets clipped by one of those brambles.
hard uphill.
And now he's forced to stand his ground, but he does not last long. So that's both of the killing sprees of the offlaners getting taken away. Big chunk of gold.
Absolutely, and that means that JG puts another exorcism onto a tower.
Yeah, see if he's going to be able to bring it down when this second. I mean, how long has he got left? Just over half the duration. If you were spawned, do you want to bring people down to defend it, or are you just happy to let it go at this point?
I mean, you have Jikroy, I suppose, but your Clockwork does not have 6. I don't really see how you get him in position for like a good fight here. And I'd also kind of doubt that the Ember wants anything to do with that, because the Death Prophet could already have a point in silence here. It's unlikely, but it's possible. And as an Ember, I think you're really rather happy that you're just getting a little bit of space here. I doubt you're gonna def.
Yeah, just going to sack it off. In which case, it's pretty decent there for Zerja that we potentially 2 tier 1 towers dropping sub 10 minutes in. Which is exactly what we've seen a lot of Death Prophets in the past of this tournament, and a lot of them have never really been able to, achieve those objectives. It only takes like 3 or 4 Exos to take down one tower, but really just showing that JG is just dominating on this hero right now.
ultimate glory. Continues bottom tower.
And he is going to have to do it solo as well, because Bram will just TP top.
Oh. Okay, well, it looks like they want to try and get on top of Jikroy, and you can see why he wants to get away. Easy peasy kill. I think Karma was desperate to get it. I think he saved the Meld Strike for the final touch, but just didn't actually time it correctly, and Rapido grabbing another one for himself.
Yep, plus now half HP on that bottom tower. Xerxia is winning everywhere on the map currently.
Yeah, it's I'm kind of surprised the net worth lead doesn't, represent that. It's still less than 1k
there's a
gold
Doom.
advantage. Oh yeah, very, very true.
I refuse gold.
You always forget about the Doom. His inflated gold.
I love having games with like Dooms and Alchemists in it, because that question comes up every single time and I can just like go, nah. It doesn't matter if they're not actually the biggest part of it. It always counts.
It does. It's just like one of the first Dooms in a long time that I've seen that hasn't gone for the Hand of Midas first. Like, so many others are really greedy, but playing the more team-based game. Meanwhile, they're in the river. Clockwork's dead, and Mamang Tire quickly follows. My lord, that damage just come flying through in seconds. It dropped.
There's a point in silence as well from JG. He's having a whale of a time right now.
Yeah, this Death Prophet really feels unanswered. She's just able to run around from lane to lane, doing all the work that she needs. And,
She's getting a Witchblade as well. That's how you know that a mid Death Prophet feels really good. Like, BKB rush? What BKB rush? I was gonna get my damage in.
Yeah. And it definitely makes sense this game, because what could Spawn team really do to stop? I suppose if they like, land a good hook shot into Bushwhack, Sharpshooter, Laguna Blade as well, they probably can bring her down. But that is a lot to commit. And then whilst that's going on, the rest of Zerja will just be, dismantling your backline. So yeah, it's a tough situation to be in here for Spawn.
I don't even know why JG had to show bottom, frankly. Like, you just sit nearby if you really think that they're going to put up a TP defense.
Yeah. Maybe he thought you'd get assists if he touches the tower in the last few seconds. I was like, yeah, a bit of bonus gold.
Efficiency.
That's what it's all about. Look like Spawn, they were trying to invade the Dire jungle there, but fortunately enough for the Primal Beast, they had the ward down, seized the move, and easily able to evade that one. And meanwhile, on the other side, Zerja taking control of the Radiant jungle, and they might actually be able to bump into him. Mamadai does get the Syrian Chains off there on Charger, which gets stolen away, but nice two-man Bushwhack land. Oh, the Sharpshooter actually just about misses there. He was trying to graze the Rubik, but doesn't hit anything at all. Oh, I thought that was Mamadai's boots as well that just died there. That would have been really bad.
Oh yeah, that would have been awful. Instead, he just loses about half his HP to a Death Prophet, who's just sort of like taunting him, sitting on the opposite bank from her own base. And you need to commit so many heroes to do anything about it. And really, Spawn just really wants to get the farm up on their own side.
Yeah, trying their best to. Anything they can. Trappin's like, I will steal away this rune. Oh, it's not even there. And then he just dies. Ends up just being a little bit more food there for the Death Prophet machine. And I think they did see red as well. Rapido charging forwards. They want to try to get the lockdown onto this guy and bring him to his knees if they possibly can. And they will do. Just no way to escape. And the Doom, even though he is the most farmed on the side of Spawn, even he's just easy pickings.
He is, yeah, especially because he didn't actually go Midas into BKB. Means that this combination, as soon as they get on top of him, the Bedlam absolutely destroys him.
Yeah, it is a nasty amount of damage for such a simple ability. And looks like Mamadai trying to do something poking onto Bombi right now, but he's like, oh, maybe it's not actually worth the risk. Especially seems like JG was still in the general vicinity. And they just have to fall back. But now 13 minutes, 5k gold advantage now for Zerja. Sat at a pretty comfortable 85% win probably, and I think that is pretty damn correct. Ooh, nice sharpshooter though. Does secure a kill into Bombi at the very least. JG.
You'll have to take what you want.
Finds Jacroy. Does get hit by the Doom though. I think that's just a defensive Doom. Not sure if they can actually get the kill, especially seeing how Jar Jar is also here.
No.
Just throws him back, and yeah, JG's just going to be able to walk this off. Actually, he's about to run out, and he's thinking about turning around. Feeling pretty ambitious.
Yeah. As a nice tanky Doom, you get a long duration Spirit Siphon out of that.
Yeah, it's such an annoying hero to try and deal with. Like, it feels like you have to commit so much just to bring her down, but sometimes it just doesn't even feel worth it.
Absolutely not. I mean, you need to burst. You need to get in a Laguna Blade. Oh, and Jacroy, he's been levering the Light Strike array as well, so not even points into the Dragon Slave, which is really the wrong way around to do it as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. Is that mainly just to, avoid the steals from the Rubik, or just to actually help his own game out?
So you do take the Dragon Slave because it's just more damage, it's bigger AoE, you hit more people with it, means more Fiery Soul charges. The Light Strike array is just smaller and harder to hit, and the Rubik has more benefit from it, so I feel like he heard about the theory, but doesn't actually know. I'm not sure what's happening there.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of a mistake in the skill-wise could make a big difference, but Roshamp being attacked now from Zerja's side. Travens does scout it out with the rocket, and he's looking to see if he can get a jump and steal, and if he possibly can, but the rest of the team going to make the space, charge through, even Terrorize landing onto the both of them. Fantastically placed. Mamadai is trying to get himself away, able to get a zip off with the Remnant. And he is away, even Travin's TP in. Okay, so neither of them die, but regardless, it was all about making space to allow their team to actually steal the, or just get the Aegis.
Yep, and now Karma's feeling pretty good about himself. He had a rough lane. Had to move into the jungle without as much farm as he possibly would have wanted, but he is the best jungler on that team, and he has crawled himself way back to the top of the net worth. Got the Desolator, will put the Blink Dagger in his pocket pretty much momentarily. And he has the Aegis now as well. It's time to take some more towers.
Yes. Oh, I don't even know. What is the the sequence of plays that Spawn could make to help actually balance this game out? Because it just, minute by minute, it's just getting worse and worse for him. Like, what can they actually do?
Oh, this might be it.
Oh yeah, dropped a Doom on JG. Sharpshoot also
I did
landed.
damage.
But he's managed to get back to the safety of his team. The heal's also coming in. And JG is gone. And maybe Talal and Red in some real dangerous situation, especially as the Primal Beast come charging. He wants to get involved. Easy finish onto the Doom. And Talal, the little squirrel legs, trying to scurry away. And yeah, it does make it to the safety of the trees. But again, it's a failed gank.
It is, and I completely agree that if you want to have a good fight here, JG is probably the one that you have to take down. Because of the exorcism, because of the way that he can stand in the middle of the fight and tank. He doesn't really need to do anything else apart from being alive, so if you can make him dead, that would be nice. But yeah, that's exactly the problem. He will not be dead unless you commit everything into him, and especially I'm gonna bring it up again, but it's that Laguna Blade. And
Yeah.
Jacroix is just not in a position where he can join to throw that out.
It's true, he's just really focused on trying to recover his own farm, and well, Javins was about to TP to his death then, but he wisely cancels. And Dalol just trying to drag the creeps and defend his tier 2, which he will successfully do. But yeah, as you said, Jicroy he is starting to recover his farm. Still about 1,000 gold behind that of the TA, but you know he hasn't actually been punished in quite a while. He's finding what he can.
Rupido taking a kill on bottom. That was unnecessary. Bombi had that.
That's the thing about cores. If there's a kill, they want it. That's all they care about. So
Now this Death Prophet is going to have a BKB at a very respectable timing on top of the Witchblade, on top of the Falcon Blade. JG is a monster.
Yeah, this is extremely scary Death Prophet. Oh, just runs into Travins, but he's able to get away. Runs into the Brambles though. Not sure if they actually got the full chase, and actually with Jar Jar, they obviously telekinesis dragging him back in. There's another pick-off. And
Hey, Aristo! Isn't the TA just gonna love that?
that is pretty damn big. Even if she did need more damage, it's always going to be a nice little help. Yeah, also take down tier 2 at 18 minutes in. It's now an 8,000 gold lead. And win probability as well at 90%. To be honest, I think that's even kind of generous there towards Spawn team. I should be more inclined to say like 95, something like that. Just feels like they need a miracle to flip this game.
Yeah, I do think they do. I mean, the Ember Spirit will have a BKB pretty soon, which will actually enable him to fight into the roots, and the silence is coming out from Xerxia. And you are defending high with Alina, who is also just now finishing her BKB. So a bad high ground fight from Xerxia could definitely put Spawn at least in a contesting kind of mood again. But any fights outside of the base, I do not see them winning.
Yeah, it's just it's going to be Turtle gaming at its finest. Meanwhile, it looks like they have just got a grab here on towards the Ember Spirit, terrorized Brambles, all set up for the Yule Scepter. They bring him down. Maybe they can actually take out Rapido. Chop a lot of spells. The Bushwhack actually misses. And Stolen Laguna, can they get the burst down? Obviously, Jicroy with his BKB, he's safe for now. Sharpshooter does land onto JG. But Jar Jar, he's waiting for the perfect opportunity to drop this spell down. Karma taking a bit of bullying, but he has the Aegis. He's not even too careful about that. There is the Laguna, kind of unnecessary. I think the Lina was dead anyway, but it doesn't matter. They get the kill. Red TP's into his death. Can't really accomplish that much. Didn't even get a chance to use his ultimate. And that is 4 deaths there for Spawn. They don't get it. Well, I suppose they got the Aegis, but that's very, very minor.
Yeah, at least I got decent use out of that Lina BKB, but she just doesn't get to focus anybody down because none of her other heroes can stand their ground.
Yeah, it was sort of like her versus the world, and you can see like Jar Jar, he had the clockwork on him the entire time, but you could just tell his cursor was hovering over the Lina, just like, I want to burst her, I want to use this Laguna Blade, I don't care about anything else.
I have so much range. What are you gonna do about me?
It's really, it seems like 6 seconds is a really short cooldown for her, but yeah, gonna have it up again momentarily, and just gonna look to see if they can find another hero to burst down with this. And yeah, Zerja now 12,000 gold leads. We do see a 4-man smoke play coming out here from Spawn. Let's see if they're able to get anything out of it or not.
And it
But-
has to be Travin's catching somebody. Anything else is not going to work.
I suppose it's the TA has to be the primary target, so I don't even think they can bring down JG now. He just feels nearly unkillable. Bombi is just going to be able to walk away right now. The space from Rapido actually charges forwards, avoids the pushback. They got the connection. There is that Laguna blade again. Charger blowing up red. And now Spawn are like, all right, we've been off more than we could shoot. We've got to get ourselves out before we lose any more. And it looks like
Sure.
they should be able to.
This is your aura carrier just absolutely deleted because he has to wear too many hats. He also needs to be the one to walk in, bearing the full brunt of the damage while maybe you're... Well, oh no, Croy, no.
Oh, he was able to get the BKB off, but Karma's like, I don't really care about that. I just do so much physical damage. Just destroyed them, and oh, I don't know. This is just really rough game here for Spawn. 14,000 gold behind. Like, their Doom only got 8.7k, which for a Doom is probably closer to 7,000. So yeah, this is I don't know. I don't even know what else to say. It's just Spawn really needs to start having some of their prayers answered to start flipping this game.
Absolutely. And they have no space to move into because they only have that top tower down and literally nothing else. You can't really suicide from mid just yet at this point in the game. You'll probably lose too many heroes for that anyway. BKB on Ember Spirit. 40 gold, he's just gonna wait it out.
The mysteries within.
Does he get any of those creeps? Nope. Oh, he's going to be forced into a fight before he even complete it right now. Chickroy just vanishes. Oh my god, JG just charging as well. They've got telekinesis grab onto the Ember Spirit. Lockdown from the Pulverize as well. It's just going to set back his BKB even further. And that was their mid and carry. And they just did... They couldn't do anything.
No, it just sort of fell over. I don't know, man. I feel like I'm standing in a slaughterhouse watching like a pig get taken apart. I'm like, yeah, can I leave now? Can I stop? And the pig is like, no, I might win yet.
They'll never
Stay.
I was like,
Spawn, please free all of us.
we've all seen
I
how the
still have a
sausage is
leg.
made, and it's not good. Oh no. Well, next Roshan, a minute and 40 away, but I really don't think Xerxia care about that at all. They do not need it. Like, they're just so far ahead that it's just really like a small bonus. They could probably just give it to the Rubik or something at this point for how much it'll actually matter in this game.
Yeah, I mean that's how you know one in 100 times that goes wrong. So maybe not, but
Oh, actually, Gaben says it's 100% chance for Xerxia now.
100%. That's pretty
100%.
rare.
That is. Oh wait, no, it's back down to 99.
Oh.
That shouldn't be possible. That should not
Okay,
be
so
possible.
the 1% chance is I think you just get one of the supports right off the bat. Ideally Jaja, but he's not in that position right now at all. And then for some reason JG chases after your Doom, who has already dropped it on another hero, and just leaves somewhere through the back, and then you fight the rest of them.
Oh, Peter. Oh,
That's
the hook
not it.
shot! No, this is a terrible way for it to start. They even commit the Doom on towards the Primal Beast. They might be able to bring him down. JG is amongst them all, trying to make space for his offlaner, but it's not going to matter. He will still die. But in the back lines, Jikra's dead as well as Delol, and Red just slowly getting ran down from JG. Does actually do a nice move of push himself up to the high ground there. He will be able to get away. Mamak Dyer taking a beating. Gets one zip off. Guilty Crown getting the stun. And Jesus, man, that burst damage. GG is cool. Spawn. They just tap out. Okay, maybe the 100% was right.
Yeah, and I am very thankful to them from freeing us all for this, this rough spot, because it was certainly not enjoyable anymore, and it hadn't been enjoyable for a while, least of all for them.
Yeah.
But, you know, you gotta believe, right? You got handed the Lina, you got handed, like, all of this damage and all of this range, and you wanna really make sure that Xerxia is not going to give you the space for it, and when they try here for the final time, it's like, nope. No, there's actually no way, okay.
Yeah. Oh, it's just the end scores as well. Jitcroy 0 and 8, Mamang Dyer 0 and 6. It was, I mean, like we were saying at the start, Red needed to be the one to make the space for them. He did do a good job in the laning phase, but they just couldn't actually translate that into anything else. And yeah, it just seemed like the Zerja show. They just ran over him.
Yeah, and I think his itemization was part of his mistakes, right? Because normally you'd say, all right, fine, this is a Doom who's going with aura item builds, so he is going the non-greedy route. But the problem is that nobody was going to join him. And what do you build auras for if you're the only one going forward anyway? Like, you need your BKB, you need your Blink, and hope that you can keep on getting kills together with your supports, because neither of your other cores are going to join you. And that is where the aura items really start to make a difference.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, unfortunately, just couldn't make as much of a difference they would have hoped. So we did see a couple of times that Red and Delol were trying their best to get their pick-offs, like really all they could do. But again and again, I think they went on Jaja, like, no Jaja, sorry, JG, like 2 or 3 times. They landed the Doom, they hit him with the Sharpshooter, but he was just so damn tanky. He was just able to walk it off again and again. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Not much else we could say after that game number 1, as yeah, Spawn team just got absolutely dismantled. So now, we were saying earlier that they had to win 1 game out of 4 to guarantee that they went through. Now they've got to win 1 out of 1.
1 out of 1.
1 out of 1 to guarantee it. But talking about guarantees, actually no, I think they are. Wait, oh no, actually they are already guaranteed to go through the group stages. Obviously Zerja 100% the top. Then Polaris, Spawn, and eHome. So I suppose actually at this point, it doesn't actually matter whether if they lose this. It's all for show, all for practice at the end of the day. And yeah, we'll see what they're able to do. Is there any sort of key changes they can make going into this second game versus Zerja though?
Okay, get Mamang Daya, Playmaker, and also a lane. Like, my list of desires for Mamang Daya just keeps on getting longer. Please, I want to just 1 game of Mamang Daya doing his thing, okay? This man's having such a bad time.
He really is. Just 2 games, well, 3 games in a row now that he's just not been able to perform at all how he would like. And yeah, that is very unfortunate. But obviously that is game number 1 down, guys. Game number 2 will be up in about 10 minutes time. So not long to wait for some more Dota 2. So stick around.